Hi, my name's Stephanie Kakris from highperformanceclub.com, and welcome to today's webinar, which is 7 ways to boost your goals using the power of the law of attraction. This is our little office that I'm in today, and I've got my, over this shoulder, I've got my little tiger cub. I feel like he kind of sits on my shoulder and protects me on the wall behind there. And you'll see over yonder, I've got this banner hanging up here, and this banner is a copy of a poem which is in a book called Return to Love by Marianne Williamson, and it's entitled Courage, and it starts off by saying, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And it goes on to say, we are meant to shine as children do. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And it's got Nelson Mandela at the bottom because he used it in one of his famous speeches. He recited the poem, so it's often attributed to him. Anyway, I just wanted to show my face and say hello, and I'll switch over to the PowerPoint and we'll start the presentation. So today we're going to talk about 7 ways to boost the power of your goals using the law of attraction. I'm Stephanie Kakris, and for those of you who don't know me, allow myself just a couple minutes to introduce myself. I have been coaching for probably about 10 years now. As a young child, probably I was 8 years old, I knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to help people to feel good about themselves and to reach their potential. And psychology was a vehicle for doing that, but I didn't particularly want to be a clinical psychologist because sitting in a room with, clinically depressed and anxious people all day did not thrill me. So I really love sport, and I thought it was a great marriage to put psychology and sport together. So I dutifully went off to university, as you do, and went and did a psych degree. I did a science degree, and then I did some postgrad studies, and I did a master's in sports psychology. And unfortunately, it was very theoretical, the stuff that I learned, and I got out of uni after 8 or so years not really knowing how to actually help people very much. And I did work with elite athletes for very little pay for about 6 or 7 years. And I loved it, and I got a lot out of it, but I still felt like I didn't really have enough tools to actually help them to reach their peak potential. And I also didn't have the confidence in myself to charge for what I did and to value it. Then I found a company called Beyond Success, who are a personal development company, or rather my husband found them, and they offered a coach training program. So I went along because I really liked the idea of life coaching. Even though I hate the word life coach, I liked the concept behind it. And what I learned in a year with them just completely blew me away. It was the quality of the learning, and the emotional healing component was really powerful. And I came out of it a very different person, and I actually ended up co-presenting the coach training program, teaching it with another lady, or a couple of others at the beginning, and then another lady later on. And really enjoyed training coaches and helping them to grow and create their business. And now here I am, I guess, during my struggles and my desire to learn about, I'm really passionate about the human mind and human potential and about energy and how it all works. I came across the law of attraction teachings, and I've spent quite a lot of time immersing myself in different people's teachings, from scientific basis to the more layperson's explanation. And I really love teaching it because I can see the power in it. So my mission statement is to inspire, support and encourage people to identify and pursue what they truly want in life. And there's a photo of my beautiful family down there. That's Alexia and Anthony. They're a bit bigger than that now, but they're just as cute. And of course, my husband Peter, who is very supportive of everything that I do, and for that I'm very thankful. So that's my mission statement for my business. I've also got this Masters of Manifesting brand, which I run vision boarding workshops, and that's something that I want to enhance and grow in the coming years. This is a copy of a double-page spread in my goal book, and it's an example of a vision board that you could do for your business, and this is one that I've done for my business. It doesn't have to be perfect and doesn't have to be magical. Some people would say that it probably needs more pictures and less words, but words have their own vibrational energy, and I believe in the power of words, and it's something that makes me feel really good. So when I look at that page, which I don't look at very often, and read some of those sayings, makes me feel really good. And yeah, I've got a photo there who was taken by a wonderful photographer who's actually on the call today, and it's good to put a photo of myself because it associates me with all those phrases, words and phrases.
What I'm going to share with you today, my 7 steps to boost the power of the law of attraction, is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to go for about 50 minutes with my teaching, and we're going to take Q&As. So what I'm going to share with you today is really just the tip of the iceberg from what I've learned with the law of attraction and with how to raise your vibration and how to change your energy. And so I've actually put together a 5-part law of attraction masterclass, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later on. So just so you know, that's going to happen later on. What would you like to attract in your life? So I want you to think about something that hasn't arrived yet for you that you can think about and keep in the front of your mind whilst I'm going through the 7 steps today. So it might be a different home. You might prefer to be living in a different place, in a different type of home. Maybe you prefer to be somewhere in the country or in the city or by the beach or closer to family or friends or something like that. Maybe a career option that you're looking at that you haven't actually been able to manifest yet. A relationship, whether that be your romantic relationship, or whether you want to have a business partner that you'd like to attract or someone to collaborate with, or whether it might be a really cool group of friends that you might like to attract. And what about income? Income's another one that most people would like to improve. So if you could just pick one thing and type it into the checkbox for you to keep in mind, what would be the most important thing? I'm sure that many of you would like all of those things. And be specific. So something that you could realistically look at bringing about, say, in the next 6 months. Type it in the checkbox, and down the bottom, if you change the option in the chat room to organisers only, then the chat box will only come to me rather than to everybody seeing it. Okay, so we've got an improved relationship with their current partner. Someone wants ongoing passive income for retirement. To have their home a little bit more organised and neat and tidy than it is. General income improvement, fulfilling career. Okay, fantastic. So I want you to keep that in front of mind whilst we're going through the 7 steps today, so that it just makes it more practical and applied if you can have something specific in mind rather than just learning the general principles, which is great, but it's even better if you've got something in mind. So thank you for interacting. So basically, what is the law of attraction? So the simplest way for me to describe the law of attraction is that if you imagine that we're all magnets, so we're all vibrating at a certain energy level, and what dominates our thoughts, beliefs and feelings then dominates our experiences. So whatever level we're vibrating at, and the way that we vibrate is about what we've learned to believe about ourselves and about our world, what we think, but also, and more importantly, how we feel, which is something that not many people, when they talk about law of attraction, they really focus on thoughts. And I find that really difficult because feelings are even more important than thoughts, in my opinion. So how you feel, how you think, and what you believe then translates into the experiences that we have. So the things that we attract in our life, the people that we attract. And I also believe that there's a factor of the universe at play, which has our best interests in mind. So even if we feel like we're going through all these so-called negative experiences and we're not, it can be really frustrating because we're not attracting what we think we want, we can definitely do something about it by putting in the processes that I'm going to teach you today, and that I've also put in my other program that I'll tell you about a little bit later. But it's really important that you have that trust and faith that everything is unfolding as it's meant to be. So this is just a little image of a person, and they've got the magnet, and depending on what frequency the magnet's at, if it matches what it is that we want, if our own personal frequency matches the things that we want to attract in our lives, then they will come in. If the frequencies are mismatch, then we will either repel them or they'll just be there waiting in the ether until we work on ourselves to the point where we can attract them. So I would like to use some really specific stories. So, because, you know, there are a lot of people that are doubtful about how this actually works, because it's really hard for our conscious brain to actually get its head around how does that actually work, that if I think positive thoughts, that positive things are going to happen to me. It can feel really far-fetched sometimes. So we have one lady who's on the call at the moment who came to a vision boarding workshop that I ran, and later that year her nephew was getting married in Vietnam and she had been invited. She did not have the means to get herself to Vietnam, and she put on her vision board that she really, really wanted to go. It wasn't long afterwards that she found herself at a function. I think it was a wedding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat box if you like. But she found herself sitting next to a very wealthy stranger at the wedding, and they were chatting and they got to know each other over the course of the night. And she was explaining to her newfound friend, so to speak, that she'd love to go to Vietnam for her nephew's wedding. And basically by the end of the night, this person said, I would like to pay for your trip to go to Vietnam. So just literally out of nowhere, she's manifested to be at this function, to sit next to this person and manifest this trip to Vietnam. I just think it's such a cool story. I've had clients who have had their own businesses where they've attracted their ideal clients after doing some processes with me about what they'd like to attract, instead of feeling like they're chasing their clients all the time. So I did a values process and a get clear process with one of my clients in particular, and literally the next day she had 2 people call her out of the blue, basically saying, I want to work with you, and price was no issue. They'd already made up their mind. She didn't have to do any sales pitch. She didn't have to chase them, and they were both fantastic clients. So they're the kind of thing. They're the kind of things that I've seen happen. I've had 2 clients manifest redundancy. So they've been in a job that they haven't particularly been enjoying, and they've really not believed that a redundancy would be coming their way to allow them to then have a space of 6 months effectively of income so that they can then pursue their own businesses. And I've said to them, keep the faith, keep the belief open, keep the possibility open. I guess one of my mantras is to all of you, believe in all possibilities, because you just never know. And, they've said to me, I'm not going to be made redundant. My job's too important. They need me, blah, blah, blah. And I've just said, just keep the faith, be open to the possibility. And there you go, their redundancy has turned up. Personally, I have manifested a new car and a 50-inch TV, or just a couple of little things that well, the car was probably not a little thing, that I've manifested using the techniques I teach. We, last year I ran, or the year before last, I ran a money mindset makeover program. And at the beginning of the program, I said, let's everyone pick one thing that they'd like to manifest during this month that we're doing this program. And the thing that I picked was a 50-inch TV, because we had a 36-inch or a 33-inch one out in our back room. And about 2 days after the program started, my husband and I were driving along. We were going to the airport, actually. And on the side of the road, on the front lawn, on this main road that we were on, was this 55-inch TV. And my husband says to me, oh my God, it's a big TV. It says 50-inch there, but I think it's 55. And I said to him, oh, it probably doesn't work. I don't know, why would anyone throw out a working TV on the front? And he goes, I want to pick it up and put it in the car, and we'll take it home. And if it doesn't work, then we'll just take it to our recycling centre. And I said, okay. So we did a U-turn. We stopped and we picked it up. We got it home, and there's a very slight fault in the screen, but you know, it's 98% perfectly fine. And I just couldn't believe that I asked for it, and there it was, literally on the side of the road. In terms of our car, we've wanted a petrol electric car, a Prius, for a long time. And I wrote down that I wanted to manifest it. And within 3 days, we got notification from a company that we had shares in, that they were going to give us the money from the shares, that they'd sold the company. And we thought, we were expecting the share money to come in at some point over the next 6 months, but we weren't sure exactly how much it would be, but we thought it was going to be between $3,000 and $5,000 for the shares. And we got notification 3 days after I put it out there that I really, really wanted a new car, because we were driving an old, we had one quite good car, but the other one was an old bomb. And within 3 days, we got notification that the shares were being sold, and that we were going to be getting just under $18,000, which was pretty much what I had priced. About $17,500 was what I had priced the second-hand Prius that we wanted would be. So it was almost like exactly to the dollar that we got exactly what we wanted. So in terms of income, it's great to have a think about what kind of income you would like to manifest, but it's even better if you think about what you will do with that income. So there's just a little extra tip. It's much easier to manifest goods and specific things rather than money, because money is kind of an abstract concept. And whilst it's great to have money, it's what you're actually going to do with that money, or what money will allow you to do, that is more specific for our vibration to sort of get an idea for. I was listening to an audio the other day, and there's a lady that, or a man actually, a man and a woman, I think they work together, a man called Dr. Schwartz, who did a seed intention experiment. And what they did was, they were presenting, the first time they did, they were presenting a seminar in Sydney to roughly 700 people. And they had a lab in America where they were from, with 4 groups of seeds. So they had about 30 seeds in each. So there was group A, group B, group C, group D. And they chose, the group of 700 participants at this seminar chose which group of seeds that they would like to send an intention to grow bigger than the other 3 sets of seeds. So let's just say they chose group B, and they set an intention during the seminar for group B seeds to grow, I think it was 0.5 centimetre bigger over the first couple of weeks than groups A, C and D. Then the next day, the lab technician in America, who did not know which group the intention was set, so they was like a blind study, so they didn't know which group was which, planted the 4 groups of seeds in a controlled environment in test tubes. So they were all planted in identical conditions and an identical you know, little piece of cotton wool, or however they germinated them. And the group of seeds that they set the intention to, the B group, grew significantly higher than the A, C and D group. And they've since replicated the experiment, I think 6 or 7 times. And on average, over the whole group of experiments, the seeds were given the intention to grow by the groups of people at the seminar, grew an average of 56 millimetres over the, say it was a week that they were growing, or 2 weeks or something, I don't remember how long it was, compared to 48 millimetres on average for all the other seeds. So all the other seeds had a 2 millimetre variation across all of them. And so, you know, the tallest one was 50 out of all of them, and the shortest one was 46. But the seeds with the intention grew up to 56. So to me, if that's not proof that setting an intention and giving positive thoughts to something, giving positive energy to something will help it grow more or get better results, to me that's a really cool experiment. It's kind of proof, so to speak. And it's also, you know, it's also proof of the group. I'd be interested to see if the bigger the group, the more those seeds grew that had the intention. And there's been studies done on energy and with other random experiments where the more people that are together intending at the same time, the more powerful the results. So for you to have a think about is, what will your success story be? How will you grow from an intention? I just want you to think about the possibilities for yourself. So getting on to the power booster number 1 for goals and for what it is that the first point, which is something that people really, I suppose, is their downfall, is to set goals for you and not for what you think other people want for you. So our conditioning is that it's really important for us to, you know, in terms of success, that it's important for us to get the, you know, go to university, get the right job, make lots of money, have a family. So there are a lot of cultural and family pressures on us to live a certain way. And we can kind of get sucked into that and think, okay, well, I need to set a goal to, you know, if you've got a business, have so many clients, or if you've got a job, get that promotion, or go into a certain career because that's going to give me status in life. But often those things, they're fantastic for success in inverted commas, but they're not necessarily fulfilling, and they're not necessarily what we want for ourselves. So it's really important, and if we do achieve those things, we're not going to be fulfilled and satisfied. And for me, the version of a midlife crisis, or definition of a midlife crisis, is when people realise that all the things that they thought they wanted weren't actually what they really and truly wanted. So we often go through a period, and we might go through multiple of them during our lives, where we think, hang around, is this actually what I really want? You know, because this is what I thought I want, but it's not actually really doing it for me. I don't really feel happy and fulfilled in myself. So that's about sitting down quietly and meditating and really looking within and thinking, what do I do in my life, or what would I like to do that's going to make me feel fulfilled and make me feel really good inside? So that's when it gets back to the feelings and manifesting the feelings and thoughts. So that's a power booster number 1. So power booster number 2 is about knowing your why. So when you want to achieve a goal, and as I mentioned already about the money, why do we actually want to achieve that goal? Do we want to achieve it so that we can have peace of mind? In terms of an income goal, is it because we want more time freedom? Is it because we want to just feel good? Is it because we want something for our family? So, you know, if I wanted to manifest enough money to renovate my house, is that because I want my family to be happier? So when we're setting a goal, it's really important to look at, why do I actually want this goal? And it also helps us identify then if it's really and truly something that we want for ourselves, or whether it's something that we think that we should have because that's the way society's dictated, or that's the way it was supposed to be, or that's what we've always expected of ourselves. And if that's the case, then we're going to have a misalignment in ourselves, I guess. So we're going to take a little pause. Now that I'll do one more power booster, actually. I'll do number 3. Power booster number 3. I would really encourage you to get a coach or a support person or a support group to help you to stay accountable and motivated with your goals, because without the right person to keep your interest is not the right word, but to keep your excitement up about what it is that you really want, then our motivation will often wane and become a little bit lacking. So I still have a coach. I continue to have a coach myself, and I would not be without it, because when I bounce ideas off her and come to her with my challenges and with my curiosities and with what it is that I want to do next, it just feeds the energy for me. And that might be your best friend, or someone close to you. It might be a partner, but it might not be your partner, because it just depends on where you're at. Some people, it's important that someone who'll be real with you, but also be really encouraging too, that you choose, or a group of people. And I'm going to be looking forward to running a group of people. Later on, I'm going to tell you about my new group program. And the reason why I've made it a group program is so that everyone can feed their energy off each other and share ideas and do that bulk intention. So we're going to take a pause, and I'm going to have a quick drink of my tea. If you could just type into the chat box something that you've learned, or something that you will take away from what I've spoken about so far. I have a dry mouth, so excuse me while I have a drink. And if you've had any aha moments to date, or something that it was nice to be reminded of that. Okay, someone said that they love their definition of a midlife crisis. Excellent. Yes, someone else has said that they really need a bigger why, about why is important to manifest their goals. Anyone else share something that they could take away? Okay, yep, the power of intention with a group. Excellent. Being reminded of goals for me. Yeah, absolutely. So can you have multiple whys under the one thing that you want to attract? Absolutely. The more whys that you have under the thing you want to attract, the more powerful it'll be. So go right ahead. Really need to work more on my why. Excellent. And just to believe in the possibilities and be open to all possibilities when you can't necessarily see where they're going to come from. Great. Thank you, everyone. So on to power booster number 4. Write your goals down in the present tense as if they've already happened. So the way this works is that when we imagine ourselves as if we've already got the goal, that is the most powerful way to align our vibration with the goal. So when I wanted to manifest a new car, I put myself in my mind, in my imagination, I put myself in the car, driving around in the car, and how fabulous it was going to feel. One of the whys about why we wanted to manifest that particular car is that we wanted to help the environment. So my husband and I have our care for the environment is really high on our list. And so to get the petrol electric car that uses a lot less fuel and, has a battery that charges as you drive, was really high on our values and was really important to us. So that was one of our whys. Another why was to drive around with safety, because the old Bomb that we were using as a second car was not particularly safe. It's quite an old car. And, we're often taking our kids, and we didn't used to take our kids in the Bomb very often, but every now and then we would have to, because that was the only car that was there available. And so we had our list of whys, but I imagined myself already in the car, driving the car and feeling really good about it. So when you're writing down your goals, way more powerful if you can write them in the present tense. So for example, I've manifested, at least $18,000 to buy beautiful, really good condition, secondhand Prius. And I'm driving, when I drive it, I feel fantastic. And, I love the fact that we're helping the environment and we're saving money. So, and we're saving money and we're safe. So that's just an example of a goal that you can write down in the present tense. So if your goal is a relationship goal, you could say, my partner and I really enjoy each other's company. We communicate openly. We understand each other. And it's just so nice to be with someone 24/7 who, where we can just be totally comfortable with each other and on the same wavelength all the time, because we can share our joys and we can share our goals, and it's fantastic. So I guess that's a few examples of how to write your goal in the present tense. It changes your vibration and changes your feeling and brings it back to the here and now. And it's actually what's called a quantum leap or a quantum jump. For those of you who have heard that phrase, it's where you energetically leap yourself into a different time, and you effectively bring the future closer to you. Bring what might happen in the future closer to you. So that's Power Booster number 4. Power Booster number 5. Visualize yourself achieving your goal. Imagine you have already achieved it. So in addition to writing down your goal in the present tense, it's a really fantastic idea to actually close your eyes and visualize yourself achieving your goal, and really bring in the feeling that you imagine that you will have when you get to that point in your life. So when you're looking at your mortgage completely paid off, or when you're looking at you've got enough money in the bank to do that renovation, or to go on that holiday, or to be, if you wanted to visit Egypt with the pyramids, to be in Egypt and be at the pyramids, and just imagining the excitement and the amazement that you're feeling while you're there looking at them. So whatever it is that you want, or just it might be something more simple to as sitting on the back veranda enjoying a cup of coffee with your loved one, or getting up every day and going to work at a career that you love, where you're valued and respected. So when you can visualize it and really feel yourself achieving that goal, that's another way to boost your vibration and to bring the goal towards you more quickly. Power Booster number 6. Forgive yourself if you get off track, and be patient. So there's a law of attraction, and there's also a law of divine timing. And there's a reason why things don't manifest instantly in our lives. And that reason is, I don't know about you, but I've had times in my life where my kids have been driving me absolutely crazy, and I've immediately thought, oh my God, what I could do to just have a few moments peace without my kids. And, I'm so glad that some of the things that I've thought, when my kids were little, did not manifest. Or, if I've got some kind of an ache and pain, and I think, oh my goodness, I had a fall in the middle of last year, and I fell while I was ice skating and I bruised my back. And I thought, oh my God, I hope I haven't broken any vertebrae in my spine. Well, I'm glad that didn't manifest instantly, because, my spine wasn't broken, it was bruised. And, you know, we often think these negative thoughts. And so we've got to be careful because we can't have it both ways. So when we're thinking the positive thoughts about things that we want to happen, then we put it out there, and then we need to be patient. And sometimes we will get off track and life will take us in different directions, and we might not be getting what we want as quickly as we want. We might not be doing everything we need to do in terms of diet and exercise and getting healthy and, you know, the list of all the things that we're meditating every day, the list of all the things that we could be doing is ridiculous. And so it's really, really important as you go to forgive yourself if you get off track, and to be patient as well, because the more that we beat ourselves up for not taking that action, for not meditating every day, for not eating exactly what we should be eating, for not exercising, whatever it is, then that just lowers our vibration and it pushes our goals away. It's really important to let go as we go, and to be patient and trust that everything is going to come to us at the right time. And we can move on to Power Booster number 7, which is to want what you want, to get the feeling happening, but to actually let go of the need to have it. So when we want something too badly, we hold on to it. We can hold on to it too tightly, and that can actually cause resistance. So the best way to actually raise your vibration and to encourage more good things to come into your life is to want what you have. So the quickest way to get what you want is to want what you have. So when we're in a feeling of gratitude for all the things that we actually do have in our lives, then we attract more of the same. And I love Dr. John Demartini is one person that I follow, and I absolutely love his teachings. And he talked about the word appreciate. So gratitude, another word for gratitude is to appreciate what you have. And the other meaning to appreciate is to grow. So when money in your bank appreciates with interest, then that means it grows. So feeling gratitude and feeling appreciation and having those things that you're grateful for grow, one and the same thing. It's just a matter of doing it every day. So in terms of letting it go, by all means, write it down, hold the intention, but when we want something too badly, it's sending out a message that we're actually dissatisfied with our life without it. And when we can move that back and say, okay, well, I'm actually satisfied that I have all this stuff without it, but that it would be really nice to have it, rather than I'm desperately needing it and holding on to it too tightly, then it just allows the space for it to come into our existence, to our experience. So I hope that all makes sense to you. Does anyone have any questions at this point? No, I don't think so. Okay, so where to from here? Yes, someone said that they really need to work on that last one about letting go of what it is that we really, really want. It's about feeling the vibration, being okay with not having it. It's kind of an irony. It's an oxymoron. It is kind of a bit hard to explain. How can you be feeling really good when you're imagining yourself being there and how fantastic it feels, but then on the other hand, I'm okay without it too? It kind of feels a bit, it feels like a contradiction, which it kind of is. But yeah, as I say, when you're holding on too tightly, it's not great. So where to from here in terms of application steps? So tell me one thing that you've learned so far in today's training that you can actually go away and apply, because it's all very well for me to sit here and teach it. And it's all fantastic for you to listen to it and be reminded, for those of you who have heard this stuff before. But what are you actually going to go away and do after we've said goodbye today? So just type in the chat box, what would you actually like to do? Okay, so look for multiple whys about why it is that we want our goal. Excellent. Yep, visualize and imagine being there at the time. Perhaps get a little better at letting go. Great. Be really grateful from where I'm at. Just remember to be patient and be trust that it's all happening as it could. Forgive myself if I get off track and sit quietly and find my why. And work my way through the whole process because they know it works because it's worked for them before. Awesome. And yeah, patience. Being patient and letting go. That's the tricky part because we want, you know, we live in an instant age. We live in an instant age where, you know, if we want information, we just open the internet and it's just there. We want to watch a TV show, we can just open Netflix or, you know, iView and we can watch whatever we want to watch. Like everything is at our fingertips. Cars, you know, we get in the car, we need shopping any time of day or night. We can just get in the car and go and buy whatever we want. We live in an instant age where everything's happening at such a rate that it's only natural that we want our goals to manifest at a rate as well. But there's always a reason why. There's the timing between us putting it out there and it coming. And there are ways that we can bring it closer for sure, but there might be things that we need to learn on the way for us to make the most of it, or even to attract it. There are things that we need to learn along the way. So thank you for that. So the key ingredients are definitely to apply what you've learned today, which is, you know, the top part here of the tip of the iceberg, but also to learn more about raising your vibration in a high energy group environment. And I've come up with this Quantum Leap is my program, which is a 5-star Law of Attraction Masterclass. So what I've done is I've put together a 5-part series of webinars, and it'll include advanced law of attraction theory and practice. It's going to be interactive, so it's going to be similar to this, where people are going to be able to ask questions during the webinar, and at the end of it I'm going to have a question and answer session. There will be exercises for you to do in between weeks, a copy of my meditation, which is a guided meditation to help you imagine whatever goal it is that you want to achieve, and it goes through exactly how you're going to feel. It's a guided meditation. I'll be running a closed Facebook group so that you can all share your challenges, and because when you set goals, there's often challenges that come up along the way, and those challenges are not too, well, there's the two things in my opinion. One of them is to see how for real you are, because if a challenge comes up and you just think, oh, this is all too hard, I'm not interested, then it's probably not a really important goal for you. And the other reason challenges come up is so that we can grow to get over the hurdle of that challenge so that we can then attract whatever it is that we want. So the closed Facebook group, and I'll also be recording the 5-part webinar series for you to keep forever, for you to refer back to. So that's what's actually in it. How will you actually benefit? Vibration is number one, so that we talked about the energy of our body and raise your vibration and that group intention, the power of that group intention, to help you to get clear about what you want. So we'll be doing exercises, some question and answers about what is it that you actually want and how we can get really clear. And in general, to just live life with more ease and flow and less struggle and hard work. And I must say that that's something that I've noticed with myself as I do this work, is that things just seem to flow a lot more easily instead of having to push and get exhausted. I've still got work to do on that, but I can definitely see, you know, even with little things like I turned up at the supermarket the day before Christmas Eve to do my final shopping because I was hosting my family here at Christmas, and I just grabbed my credit card because I didn't want to carry my handbag and my shopping bags. And I rock up the supermarket and I realised that I've got no change for the trolley. I didn't have a $1 or $2 coin because I just grabbed my credit card so that I wouldn't have to be lugging my handbag around. and I really needed a trolley, and I did not want to go back home because I was in a hurry. And I said to myself, okay, I just need to manifest an empty trolley somewhere. So I walked up the stairs and I looked, and the last trolley that was there was not plugged in to the one ahead. And I pulled it out, and it was so cool. And then a lady came up behind me, and she said to another lady that was getting a trolley, she said, oh, here, do you want my trolley? Because it didn't have a figure in it. And I was just like, oh my God, it was like I had 2 trolleys available. So just little things like that where I find that my life is just that little bit easier, and really cool things that happen to me on a daily basis. So what's actually going to be in the 5-week program? So the week 1, we're going to be talking about the science of law of attraction in a bit more depth. Week 2, how to set goals in a bit more detail using the law of attraction. Week 3, we're going to be looking at personality style and how that impacts your manifesting ability and what you can do about it. Week 4, we're going to be looking at law of attraction and money. And week 5, we're going to be looking at how to raise your vibration going ahead. Little daily things that you can do to keep that vibration high, to keep your life easier and in more flow and attracting more good things. So it's going to be, the investment's going to be $247, but for those of you who can get in the next week, by next Wednesday, the 23rd of March, it's going to be $197. My coach thinks that I should be charging $497 or more for it, so I feel like I wanted to make it really affordable. It's going to be limited to 20 people, so it can be a nice interactive group, and it's going to be starting on Wednesday the 30th of March, and I'm going to be doing the webinars on a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, unless the people who join all would prefer a Tuesday. I'm a bit flexible, Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm a bit flexible with the day. So depending on people who are on it, then we'll pick the day. But at this stage, it's going to be on a Wednesday night. And I'm offering as well, just for 5 people, the entire course, plus 2 45-minute sessions with me one-on-one. And for all that, it's $397. So that would normally be $200 per session. So you're pretty much getting 2 sessions with me plus the course for free. And that's limited to 5 people. All the details and all the information are on my website, which is highperformanceclub.com/QL. So if you hop on there after the webinar, then you can sign up if you're interested. So we've got a bit of time for question and answer, anything to do with either my program or with the law of attraction or with setting goals or anything like that. Any questions? So someone has shared with me that on a daily basis they can visualise getting a really good parking spot when and where I want it, and I'm happy with the outcome. And in theory, if you can manifest a great parking spot regularly, then we should be able to manifest anything really, because it's the same process. And I really like Abraham Hicks, who says that it's the same process for to manifest a button as it is to manifest a castle. And the only difference between manifesting a button and a castle is our belief in the possibility of it turning up tomorrow. So we have a belief and a vibration that if we wanted to find a random button between now and tomorrow, that we have a fairly good chance of finding one randomly. But if we have that same belief that we would be able to find a castle between today and tomorrow, we feel that that's much, much bigger and much less realistic. So we effectively push it away. Okay, so someone's asking, is there a possibility of running the course during the day, similar time to this webinar? Well, I would prefer to run it during the day because night time is generally my family time. And there is definitely that possibility because you know what, there is all manner of possibilities. So if I get people who are available during the day, the majority of people, then I would love to run it at this time because it would actually suit me better as well. Not that I mind doing a nighttime one once a week, but yeah, during the days suits me while the kids are at school. definitely a possibility. Any other questions in general about law of attraction? Yeah, I've had someone else say this time is good for me. Well, I'm assuming that the people who are on today, this time would be good for you because you're on today, but I've probably got a couple of, there's probably at least 20 or 30 people who couldn't be on today because they're at work or whatever. So we'll see. Very much appreciate the presentation. You're welcome. Very welcome. Okay, a question about how do I know the difference between what I really and truly want and what society has sort of, or what my cultural background is that I want. And that can be a little bit tricky at the beginning to navigate between what it is that you really want and what it is that you think you want, because that's the way you've been raised. And I would say to that when you're actually doing an activity, to check in with yourself, and when you're imagining manifesting it, to check in with yourself how you're actually feeling when you either imagine it or when you're actually doing that activity. And just check in and just see, is this really, and how motivated you are beforehand as well. So if we find ourselves procrastinating, there can be two reasons. One is that it's not really what we want, and the other reason is it is really what we want, but we're just resisting it for some reason. So it's just a matter of getting to know yourself and checking in. What makes me feel really good? Definitely do more of that. What makes me feel really a bit heavy and kind of it's a bit of a burden, or I feel like it's just a bit hard, all that kind of thing, and it's heavy, then you're probably not on the right track. So, you know, it's a little bit in and out. Okay, so some more questions. Have you got any more information to share on the group sessions? So the group sessions are, so the webinar will be 45 minutes of me teaching more law of attraction principles, and then there'll be time for you to share. Will probably be time at the beginning and at the end for you to share. Okay, well, what have you been doing since last week? How have you been feeling? There'll be little exercises to do along the way for you to actually then report back and say how you went with those exercises. So the link to sign up for the group is highperformanceclub.com/QL, and make sure you put the W's at the beginning. And if it's not coming up for you, try a different browser. So if you're in Safari, then try Firefox or Chrome, Google Chrome. It's a little bit, for some reason my website's been a little bit flaky. Sometimes it's saying there's nothing there. But make sure you put the W's at the beginning, and then make sure you put the, might change your browser and type it in for again. This has been a good booster for me to get back on track and not be overwhelmed by all the stuff that's happening to me. Fantastic. This will be great for me to keep me on track. Someone asked me about the more information on the group sessions. If you've got anything more specific to ask about the group sessions, do you want to know more about the content, or just to go back to the actual, the 5-part of the group sessions. So the first part will be like talking a bit more about the science and how the energy actually works, because when we've got that level of understanding of how the energy works, then when we're applying it, it just helps. I find it just helps. The second week is about more information about how to set goals. So I've spoken about the importance of setting them in the present tense. I'll give you some questions to help you to get really clear about and be really specific about what you want and how that's going to make you feel. that kind of thing to work through, because a lot of people don't exactly know what they want. They know in general what they want. They might know that they want more money, or they might know that they want to attract a soulmate or whatever it is, but the more specific that we can get about it, the better it is. When would it be starting? Yeah, I don't know if I did say that. I had it written down. We'll be starting in 2 weeks from today. So the early bird, or the early bird price will end next Wednesday, the 23rd of March, and I'll actually be starting the 5 weeks on Wednesday, the 30th of March. And at this stage, it's going to be Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, but if I get, when people sign up, I will definitely be asking people, I'll give people an option of perhaps 3 different times that that they can let me know. Okay, someone's saying that it's working in Google Chrome in the browser. Make sure you put the www.highperformanceclub.com/QL. And the reason why I called it Quantum Leap is because the quantum field is the energetic level at which we're all operating. And a quantum leap is when there's a very rapid energy shift from one state to another. And, I'm sure we've all heard of a quantum leap in terms of, as an expression that, this shift in education, was a quantum leap for the society or something like that. And so my intention for all the people doing the group and for all people listening to this is that you experience a quantum leap between now and, perhaps 2 weeks time or a month's time, where you attract miracles, basically, where things things really can come out of the blue that you were never expecting. And I've experienced it myself, and it's really, really cool. When I ran my money program, which I'm going to run again later in the year about attracting money and money specifically, I was getting emails and Facebook messages pretty much every day with people attracting all sorts of things that they never thought were possible. So when the energy's there and when you feel like you're in the right place for it, anything can happen. Any more questions? So a couple of the people who did the money one said that it was really fun. Yeah, it was fun. I'll be definitely doing that later in the year. I really wanted to run a law of attraction one because it'll be a really good foundation for then people to then go on and do the money one again later on. A lady came in late, and will there be a recording of this? Absolutely, I have recorded it, and I will, if you send me an email on steph@highperformanceclub.com. Let me put my, I didn't have my, never mind, I didn't have my email up there, sorry. That's my little girl when she was about 6 months old. Yes, we'll be recording. If you email me on steph@highperformanceclub.com, I will send you a link to the recording. Yeah, I had quite a few people who were working today or not available, so they definitely wanted to hear, so they'll be recording. So if there's no more questions, I will bid you adieu. Thank you so much for your attention and for your input. It's much more fun when I can have some input from you rather than me just sitting here randomly speaking at a screen. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Hope you experience some miracles between now and next time we chat. And I'll say God bless and good afternoon. See ya.